On Sukkot, we perform a tradition called Ushpizin. We talked about this the other day in our class. Let me move back a little bit, some of the light. Go to the light a little bit, huh? Ushpizim means guests in Aramaic. And the guests are our ancestors, specifically Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Moses, Aaron, Joseph, and King David. So these are also referred to as the 7 shepherds of Israel. And they guided the spiritual development of the Jewish people as the shepherd guides the flock, not only in their lifetimes, but they are considered to be with us even today. Legend has it, in fact, that Moses and God are in heaven discussing Torah.
You've reached Doug Newmeyer.
So
I am unable.
If these people, these men also, and by the way, some newer progressive outlets also consider the matriarchs as well. So these people are seen as also part of the 7 lower sphirot of Kabbalah. And Matthew, I may ask you to help me out on this, but the sphirot in Kabbalah, if you've ever seen the diagram, it kind of looks like an expanded view of yoga chakras. And in fact, some people think that it is the Jewish version of the Indian chakras. But basically, it starts at the crown, the Keter, and it works its way down to the Yesud, which is King David, which is also the Shekinah, or God's presence. And it refers,
the person at extension 2316 is unavailable. Please leave your message after the tone.
To the finite, the immaterial, the Ein Sof, to the material. So consider this. Why do we consider them, these people, to be the 7 shepherds? What qualities did they have that shepherded the people Israel into our religion? And the answers would be obvious. If I asked why, if I put this out for discussion, we'd be here all night naming qualities that they have, right? And that's why we admire these people. I would submit to you, consider the fact that we are not just inviting these guests, these shepherds.
Good morning. How are you?
Into our Sukkot to be with us.
Pretty good, pretty good.
But let's consider inviting those qualities that they portrayed into our lives. Abraham, for example, was the pioneer. When the whole world was in
yes. This was right when that that beta we were closed actually for a couple days there.
This unknowable being
I
am and guides and created the universe.
If
Jacob, his sons, his heirs, also furthered that and brought it more into
anytime
David.
Would anytime Monday, this coming Monday after 10 work for you?
Joseph was a Hebrew in the company
Yes, I'm free anytime after.
That once again,
actually, I am not free until.
Full of superstition.
Because it's going to take like 30, 45 minutes, right?
Clung to the idea of this one God.
All right, let's shoot for 30. So yeah, I'm looking at like right around.
That believe that people.
Yeah, after 11. Actually, from 11 to 2, I have a giant
opening.
opening.
Loving your neighbor as yourself, of helping the stranger and the widow and the orphan, of helping your brother when or sister when they're destitute, bringing them out of slavery if they have to sell themselves, to be able to.
Yeah, that's fine.
And of course, King David was really the progenitor of the kingdom of Israel. And I mean the physical kingdom, not the spiritual kingdom. He was the one that united Israel, who fought for us. He's the one that united us.
Yes, I'm free from anytime after 11 to 2. I have something right at 2.
The idea, too, when we invite these guests and when we invite their qualities in,
the
idea
that's
of
fine.
Hospitality.
Yeah, 12:30 work.
Think of Abraham, the epitome of hospitality, how we would sit by his tent and welcome strangers. Welcome travelers who were passing by.
All right, sounds good, sir.
For a
Thank
good
you.
meal, wash their feet. What he did with
the
angels that were masquerading as people is just one of many. So, but hospitality is not just a physical thing. It's an emotional thing. It's making somebody feel welcome. Do you know that the idea of welcoming the stranger, it means that if you go to work or you're in school and somebody new shows up, it's almost your obligation to welcome them, to make them feel welcome and part of the crowd. So it extends that way. So let us all look to emulate these people. And not just emulate the good things that they did, but consider the fact that they weren't perfect people. You know, they all made mistakes. They all messed up at some time. But the difference, what made them stand out, and this fits in with our high holiday theme, is that they repented. They saw the error of their ways and they repented and they made a commitment to do better. In 5781, let's look to really study and emulate those qualities, and let's bring them into our lives, and let's look to grow as people so that they would be proud of us, so that they would sometime welcome us into their tent.